Hello friends, welcome to all. Myself Vishal Jogidas. Today we will discuss about induction generator and this topic is covered in the subject of electrical machines too. Now what is induction generator? When a squirrel cage induction motor is energized from a three-phase power system and is driven above its synchronous speed, it will deliver power to the system. Okay, so induction generator is nothing but induction motor. If squirrel cage induction motor is running above its synchronous speed, then it will become induction generator and it will deliver power to the system. An induction generator receives its excitation from the system to which it is connected. So induction generator will receive excitation from the three-phase system which is connected. It consumes rather than supplies reactive power and supplies only real power to the systems. So this is the generator work. The kVAR required by the induction generator plus the kVAR requirement of all other loads on the system must be supplied from synchronous generators or static capacitors on the system. It means for kVAR requirements we have to add capacitor banks or synchronous generator for that purpose. And operating as a generator at a given percentage slip above synchronous speed, the torque, current, efficiency and power factor will not differ greatly from that when operating as a motor. It means torque, current and these parameters, efficiency, power factor will be same as the operating as a motor. It means it is not difference, there is no difference, major difference in these parameters. The same slip below synchronous speed, the shaft torque and electric power flow is reversed. So below synchronous speed there will be shaft torque and electric power is reversed and it will become a induction motor. Typical speed torque characteristics of induction generator is shown in the figure. Here is the single line diagram of induction generator. Here we can see prime mover. This is the three-phase induction generator and here is the supply and the load is connected with the supply and here is the capacitor bank for reactive power. So these are the single line diagram for and all the components we can see in this diagram. When induction motor runs above the synchronous speed, then it runs as a generator called induction generator that we have already seen. The negative slip indicate that the rotor of induction motor is running faster than the synchronous speed. See, one more thing is here is that the slip is negative. It means it indicates the rotor of induction motor is running faster than the synchronous speed, so that the speed will be slip will be negative. Figure shows the induction generator which is driven by the prime mover such as a wind turbine is connected to a load. So here we can see this is the prime mover and it may be wind turbine or any other type of prime mover. It is connected with the three-phase induction generator. When the speed of a induction generator above synchronous speed the active power delivered by the three-phase load. The corresponding mode of operation of induction machine is called generating mode, and the slip of the induction machine will be negative in a generating mode. So two things we have seen in this case: slip will be negative in this case and speed will be greater than the synchronous speed. The construction of an induction generator is same as induction motor. It means same induction machine can be used for motor as well as generator. Now, principle of operation. When the three-phase induction motor is driven at a speed greater than synchronous speed with negative slip by an external prime mover with exciting current provided either from three-phase line or capacitor bank. So this is the complete principle of induction generator. The EMF and current of a slip frequency will appear in the rotor winding. It means EMF and current of a slip frequency will appear in rotor winding. It means it will be at slip frequency. The generating mode of operation, in generating mode of operation, an external prime mover drives the rotor above the synchronous speed. Okay, so we have seen that in a principle its speed will be above the synchronous speed. The stator flux induces currents in the rotor. But since the opposing rotor flux is now cutting the stator coils and motor operates as a generator. So this is the complete principle of operation of induction generator. Now complete torque speed characteristics. So we have already studied the torque speed characteristics of induction motor, and this is we can see here for motor. So shape of torque speed characteristics is somewhat like this. Okay, and torque speed characteristics of induction generator is here. We can see that torque is in the negative direction. Okay, so this is the mirror image of motor characteristics. It means characteristics of induction generator is also same as motor, but direction is reverse. It means there is a negative, torque is in negative direction. And one more region we can see is brake. If the torque is less than the starting torque, then motor will not operate and brake will be there. It means motor will eventually stop. So this is the complete torque speed characteristics. This is the zoom view of the torque speed characteristics of induction generator. So here we can see torque is in a negative direction, and here is the speed, and it is percentage of synchronous speed. Here we can see this is the stable region of operation for induction generator. So this is the characteristics of induction generator. Now reactive power requirement, voltage build-up and control. The induction generator is not self-excited machine, therefore develop a rotating magnetic field. See, one more thing we have to remember is it is not a self-excited machine. So rotating magnetic field is necessary for operation of this generator. The reactive power is also required for the connected inductive load to improve the power factor on the load. It means reactive power is also needed for the power factor correction or improvement of the power factor. The induction generator using the delta connected capacitor bank for the supply of reactive power is called the self-excited or isolated induction generator. See, generally the induction generator there is a delta connected capacitor bank that we can see in a figure. Yes, this is the delta connected capacitor bank. Okay, so whenever the delta connected capacitor bank is used, at that time this type of generator is known as a self-excited generator, or sometimes it is also known as isolated induction generator. The reactive power required by the generator and for the connected inductive load is supplied by the capacitor bank. So reactive power will be supplied by the capacitor bank that we have seen in a delta connected capacitor bank. To achieve a given voltage level in an induction generator, the capacitor bank must supply the magnetizing or exciting current corresponding to that level. It means to achieve a given voltage level in an induction generator, the capacitor bank must supply the magnetizing or exciting component corresponding to the level. See, in this case, capacitor bank is important because it serves two purposes. It is used for power factor correction also, and it will supply the magnetizing or exciting current to the voltage build-up. So this is also useful for capacitor bank. For a particular value of capacitance, the curve between the voltage and magnetizing or capacitive current will be linear. It means relationship between the voltage and magnetizing or capacitive current will be linear for the induction generator. Now here we can see one example. For example, a 3600 rpm squirrel cage induction motor which delivers full load output at 3550 rpm as a motor will deliver full rated power as a generator at 3650 rpm. So we can see here the machine is a 3600 rpm type, and at a full load whenever it is run as a motor, at that time the speed will decreases. It will be 3550. It means 50 rpm is decreases, and if same machine is used as a generator, then the for full rated power the speed will be 3650 rpm. It means it is above the 3600 rpm. Okay. Now if the half load motor speed is 3570 rpm, okay, the output as a generator will be one half of rated value when driven at 3630 rpm. So this is the one example of induction machine. Since the induction generator is actually an induction motor being driven by a prime mover, it has several advantages. Now we will see what are the advantages are there. One is it is less expensive and more readily available than a synchronous generator. See, cost of the induction generator is somewhat less than synchronous generator, and it is also readily available. So this is the advantage. Second one is it does not require a DC field excitation voltage. See, in a synchronous generator, there is a need of DC field excitation, but in this case, there is no need of DC field excitation voltage because capacitor bank will be used for excitation purpose. It automatically synchronizes with the power system, so its controls are simpler and less expensive. See, for a synchronous generator, if we have to put a synchronous generator in a system, first we have to synchronize this with the system, and it is compulsory for synchronous generator. But in an induction generator, it will automatically synchronizes with the power system. So controls are simpler and less expensive. So this is the advantage for induction generator. Now the principal disadvantages of an induction generator. It is not suitable for separate or isolated operation. Okay, so we cannot use for isolated operation. It consumes rather than supplies magnetizing kVAR. See, it consumes magnetizing kVAR. Actually, it should supply magnetizing kVAR. So this is the disadvantage for induction generator. It cannot contribute to the maintenance of the system voltage levels. This is left entirely to the synchronous generators or capacitors. So for that purpose we have to use capacitors or synchronous purpose. So this is the disadvantage for induction generator. In general, it has a lower efficiency. The efficiency of induction generator is also lower. So this is the disadvantage. Now induction generator application. As energy costs too high, energy recovery become an important part of the economics of most industrial processes. The induction generator is ideal for such applications because it requires very little in the way of control system or maintenance. It means whenever our requirement is energy recovery, at that time the induction generator should be the ideal choice. Because of their simplicity and small size per kilowatt of output power, induction generators are also favored very strongly for small windmills. See, we know that the windmills are at very height of the windmills are very high. So whenever we have to place the generator at a very high height, at that time the small size per kilowatt should be the main criteria. It means its size should be small. So it is the ideal choice for the small windmills. Many commercial windmills are designed to operate in parallel with large power systems, supplying a fraction of consumers' total power needs. It means many commercial windmills are available that will supply very small amount of power, and it is generally fraction of the customer's total power needs. It will be supplied through these windmills. In such operation, the power system can be relied on the voltage and frequency control, and static capacitors can be used for power factor correction. Whenever we are using the induction generator for windmill, at that time we can correct the power using static capacitors. So these are the applications of induction generator. Thank you. Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about effect of unbalanced voltages on induction motor. So we will see the what are the different effects of unbalanced voltages, and what are the effects on the performance of induction motor. This topic is covered in the subject of electrical machines 2. So what are the common cases of voltage imbalance? Voltage imbalances can caused by unbalanced loads while servo short-term imbalance. It means if in a three-phase system the load on all the three phases are not balanced, then it can be, we can say that it is an unbalanced load. So due to this unbalanced load, short-term imbalance can be caused by power system faults. Okay. Now electrical power. Unbalanced voltages at motor terminals cause current unbalance ranging from 6 to 10 times the percentage of the voltage unbalance. It means whenever unbalanced voltages are given to the motor input, so due to this current unbalance will be ranging from 6 to 10 times the percent of voltage unbalance. It means the current imbalance will be more than the voltage unbalanced. Voltage unbalance of 1% correlates to 6 to 10% current imbalance. So impact on current imbalance is more due to the voltage unbalance that we can see here. Overcurrent results in excessive heat, shortening the motor life. Whenever this current will be 6 to 10% current imbalance is there, and due to this overcurrent results in excessive heat, because we know that if the current is increases, then I square R losses are also increases, and due to this there is excessive heat and it will shortening the motor life. So motor life will be shortening. It means it is decreases whenever there are excessive heat is present. Efficiency of the motor is reduced. Okay. Power output remains the same while electrical power input increases due to the increase in current as well as increase in resistance due to heating. So how the efficiency is reduced? Power output remains same, it means there is no change, but the input power requirement will be increases due to the heating. The increase in resistance and current stack to contribute to an exponential increase in the motor heating. So whenever the resistance is increases and current stack to contribute an exponential increase in motor heating, it means we know that if resistance and current both are increases, then due to I square R the increase in heat is exponential. It means it is very rapidly increases due to increase in resistance and current. Winding losses can be calculated using I square R. We know that I square R is the copper losses. Current unbalance of 10% will increase winding losses by 21%. So this is the adverse effect on winding losses. Okay, whenever the 10% current imbalance is there, winding losses will be 21%. Now here we can see in this graph increase in motor heating and losses versus voltage unbalance. So we can see that as the voltage unbalance is increases, the exponentially there is an increase in motor heating. Okay, so the thick line represents motor heating and thin line represents motor losses. So whenever the motor losses are increases, at that time the motor heating is also increases rapidly. It is somewhat exponentially increasing motor heating. Now, thermal degradation of insulation. Excessive power causes overheating of insulation. It means whenever there is excessive power, there is a overheating of insulation. Then material breaks down. So material used in the insulation and all other type of materials will be breakdown. Winding short together. Due to the heating, what will happen? The nearby windings may be shorted together. Winding short circuits. Excessive heat leads to winding insulation degradation, which will cause winding to short together. Whenever the insulation in the winding will be degraded, it means it may be breaks, then what will happen? The winding will be sorted together. Shorted turns in stator windings often do not affect the normal operation in the early stage. So what is the effect of this sort together? Shorted turns in stator windings often do not affect the normal operation in the early stage. It means there is no effect on early stage. Now types of sorts. Turn to turn of same phase, then coil to coil of same phase, phase to phase, and coil to ground. So this type of short windings may be present due to the degradation of insulation. Here in this figure we can see if these two are sorted, then it may be called as coil to coil, and if the two turns of same winding is sorted, then it is known as turn to turn. And if there is a cut in the circuit, then it is known as open circuit. If two phase windings are sorted, then it is known as phase to phase. And if any coil is sorted with grounded, or it may be grounded, then it is known as coil to ground. So these are the faults can be seen due to the insulation degradation, and insulation degradation will be directly proportional to excessive heat. Negative sequence voltage. The adverse effects of unbalanced voltages on induction motors stem from the fact that the unbalanced voltage breaks down into two opposing components that can be described using a method of symmetrical components. Okay, so the adverse effect in induction motor is due to the fact that the unbalanced voltage is. So we can describe these components using symmetrical components method. Though the use of symmetrical components, we can describe an unbalanced three-phase system of voltage or current phasor using three balanced system of phasors termed positive, negative and zero sequence. So in this method we are using three phasors. Okay, one is positive, another one is negative and another one is zero sequence. Here we can see all these three types: zero sequence, single phase, okay, this is the positive sequence and this is the negative sequence balanced condition. So it is the decomposition of an unbalanced system. So for any unbalanced system we can decompose into these three parts: zero sequence, positive sequence and negative sequence. Now in case of machines, motors are typically connected delta or grounded Y, it means star. Therefore there would be no path to neutral for the zero components to flow, which would result in zero sequence components resulting to zero, leaving us with just the positive and negative sequences. It means in case of machines or motors, the zero sequence component will be zero because there is no path of flow of zero sequence current. So zero sequence component will be zero in case of machines. Now negative sequence voltage. The positive sequence set consists of the balanced three-phase currents and line to neutral supplied by the system. They are all equal in magnitude and phase, rotating at the system frequency with a phase sequence normally ABC. So this is the properties of negative sequence. See, here we can see this is I1, I2, and I3, and it will rotating at system frequency, it is omega t, and the sequence of phase will be normally ABC. The negative sequence set consists of balanced three-phase currents and line to neutral voltage supplied by the system. They are all equal in magnitude and phase but with opposite phase rotation. See, here phase rotation is in this direction. Okay, so for negative sequence phase rotation will be opposite. What does this mean for the system? See, reduced net torque and speed. Positive sequence voltage produces the desired positive torque, but the negative system voltage goes against the rotation of the rotor, producing an unwanted negative torque. Okay, so due to the negative sequence there is a negative torque, so ultimately there is a resultant torque will be reduced, and torque is directly proportional to speed, then speed is also reduced due to negative sequence component. What does this mean for the system? Okay, possibility of torque pulsations and motor noise. Torque pulsations sometimes result as an effect of the unbalanced voltages on the output torque of the machines. The size of the torque pulsation is affected by the size of the negative sequence current. So here we can see this graph is for torque pulsations. It means torque is not steadily, but it is somewhat positive and negative, just like a sinusoidal wave. So this thing is known as torque pulsation. So here we can see it is in these two area there is a torque pulsations, and it depends on the size of negative sequence current. Torque pulsations increase fatigue load on mechanical components and increase motor noise. So it will increase fatigue load on mechanical components and Finally, there is an increase in motor noise. So these are the adverse effects of torque pulsations and motor noise. What does this mean for the system? Increased machine losses and temperatures. Okay. The negative voltage sequence component will generate large negative sequence currents due to the low negative sequence impedance. This large negative current increases the machine copper losses and temperatures. So whenever the copper losses are increases, we know that copper losses are I square R losses, and due to this the temperatures are also increases. Thank you.